this area has gotten a little bit out of control, as you can see right there. My goal for today is getting this area ready to go back into woodworking mode. I have a 4x4 foot CNC that's going to go to the left of the camera over here. There's a bandsaw, a jointer, and a table saw buried back there somewhere. And I guess the elephant in the room is, why do I have so many cardboard boxes? Well, I buy a lot of things from my 3D printing business. So this garage has just turned into a catch-all for all the stuff that I don't want in my main business shop area. Since this is a single car garage, it's about 14 feet wide and roughly 22 feet deep. And well, it's limited space, like a lot of you probably have. So the larger tools, like the table saw, the bandsaw, the router table, the jointer, and maybe a planer when I get that in. I sold a lot of my woodworking tools when I stopped doing woodworking full time, but I really want to get this space set back up so I can do more woodworking projects. It's been way too long, and I've got a very special project that I need to complete that my grandparents have been requesting for the last 2.5 years, and they're starting to get a little worried, I think. They're both doing just fine, but they asked me to build them something very special, and I want to be able to complete that task for both of them to see it. Without further ado, let's get into that mess there. So making quite a bit of progress right now. I've got most of the cardboard boxes and other cardboard boxes packed up over there. All of the styrofoam really takes up the most amount of space. Like every single one of those cardboard boxes takes up double the space because of the amount of styrofoam that they use inside of it. I still have 20 boxes or so probably to get packed up, but I'm running out of room in the back corner there. So I got to get some of that styrofoam into the dumpster. Don't know how much of it's going to fit. The cardboard won't be able to leave until Wednesday. It is currently very early in the morning on Tuesday. So I will not be able to get rid of all of the cardboard for another 24 hours or so until the recycling comes to pick up. But as you can see, there are woodworking tools here. The radial arm saw sitting over in this corner on a cheap little fold-out desk. Not going to stay there. It's going to go back onto its stand. I've got my bandsaw, a little free jointer that I've got from a buddy of mine. It does look like it's a 6-inch jointer, so it's going to be a little smaller than the Grizzly 8-inch that I used to have. And it's a straight blade, not a spiral cutter head, so that's going to be a bit interesting, loud. That Wen bandsaw, I bought that 3 or 4 years ago. It works great. I've got their track saw as well, and I'll probably be outfitting more of this space with some of the Wen tools. They're cheap and they get the job done. I'm going to try to get as much of the styrofoam and all that stuff out of here so we have a little bit more room to work with. So it may not look like a huge improvement to you, but to me, there's about 6 months worth of cardboard that's no longer over here and it's now piled up over there. I'm pretty limited as far as what I can do right now because I don't want to start filling up that back half there until I'm able to get the CNC out of my 2-car garage area over there that I use for the 3D printing stuff. So until the cardboard is gone, I'm kind of stuck in a standstill right now. For you, it'll all be in the same video. But once that cardboard is gone, the CNC is going to come in here and it will take up this corner. I'm pretty sure the table is just under 5 by 5 feet. The CNC itself can cut 52 by 50 inches or so, and I think it'll fit fine right here. It shouldn't stick out too much further than the stuff that I've already got sitting here, and it shouldn't really continue much further than that window, which is what I'm hoping for. I don't really want the CNC to be pushed any further than that window because I need space for all of the other tools that are in here. As you can see, it's a pretty big difference from what we started with to what we've ended up with right now. The slate that's over in that corner on the radial arm saw table is for laser engraving, and I've got a couple fiber lasers in the main shop area, and I'm going to be bringing out a little 40-watt We Create diode laser that will sit and live out here, possibly under the CNC table if I can figure out a way to kind of keep a lot of the sawdust off of it. I do have dust collection that I need to run, which is essentially just taking this pipe out of the wall over here. Well, it's taped on there right now, but it's a pretty simple process. I should just be able to take the hose off of there and run it up the wall and then down the ceiling. But I don't want to do that until I get the ceiling insulated and covered. That way I don't have to pull it down afterwards. I'm also going to need to find a spot for wood storage. Right now it's just kind of, as you can see, stacked up against this wall. I think I've got plenty of room up here to put a couple lumber racks up. At some point we're going to remove the garage door so those brackets and tracks won't be in the way, but I am thinking maybe 2 levels of a lumber rack that go up above here. As I mentioned in the start of this video, we've got a 12,000 BTU heat pump mini split courtesy of Turbo that's going to get installed up there. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly where. I'd like to keep some of the filters free from sawdust, and since the CNC is going to go right here, probably be important to put it somewhere along the lines of, I don't know, maybe from here to there. You know, the CNC is going to have dust collection hooked up to it, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. We can regularly clean the filters or even build a box over top of it to hopefully keep the dust out of it and keep it performing as well as possible. All right, we will reconvene when the cardboard is gone and it's time to move the CNC. Off camera, we got rid of all the cardboard boxes that were in here. Recycling took that the other day, and then I was able to get our mini split moved over and finally get the CNC into place. Now, it's a pretty tight fit in here. Gonna have to figure something out, but for now, I mean, I don't have power to run this yet, so there really isn't a whole lot I can do at this point, but at least it's in here. It doesn't block this part of the wall. It ends before the window starts, or right as the window starts. So I should have room from here all the way down to here. And once we get this stuff off of this area and up onto the wall over there, that should leave us room to get probably the radial arm saw and the band saw set up along this wall. I know it may not look like a lot, but at the end of the day, we got a lot cleared out of here, and as messy as it still looks, I'm happy with the progress that I've made so far. Still got a lot more to do, but at least we've got the CNC in here. Like I mentioned before, we've got a Turbo mini split unit that's going to be going up over there somewhere. The outside unit will end up going on the other side of this wall, probably hang on the side of the building, but that'll be nice to get that, you know, AC heat in here because it's very humid today. We've had nothing but rain for the last week, so this entire place is just muggy and humid and it feels gross. My apologies for not filming more of it, but I had to get the CNC out. There was no room for a camera or anything like that. It just barely fit through that garage door, so I'm just happy that it's in here. Next up is going to be insulation in the ceilings. And then I think we're going to get power runs so we can get that turbo installed, so I'm not dying in here during the summer. I will catch you all in the next one, folks. Take care.